and welcome, and thank you very much for participating in the second annual meeting. I'd like to start out by introducing the head table, and I'm going to be introducing people in the order of the appearance in which they will be speaking. Right there. Is that better?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to be introducing the head table, and I'm going to be introducing them in the appearance that they will be speaking on the programs. I'm now going to turn the program over to Aquila Wainwright, Board Secretary. I will now recognize her, and we will vote on the credentials report, today's meeting agenda, and the standing rules. Aquila?
Thank you, Nancy. Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful crowd up here this morning. There are 152 voting council members consisting of 25. Try again. Is that better? Yeah. You really do have to speak into this, don't you? Let's start again. There are 152 voting council members consisting of 25 members of the board of directors, 5 members of the board development committee, and 122 council delegates representing their service units. Per our bylaws, the quorum for the annual meeting shall be 25% of the members of the corporation, which is 38 members. Provided that a majority of the council's regions, 62 service units, are represented by at least one delegate. We have 25% of the members of the corporation in attendance and a majority of service units. Present at today's meeting are, okay, we have numbers. So, present at today's meeting are 111 registered members of the corporation and 65 service units represented by delegates. The question is on the adoption of the credentials report as just given. Those in favor of accepting the report say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The credentials report is adopted. There is a quorum present. Have approval of the meeting agenda. I move that the annual meeting agenda as shown in the workbook be adopted. Is there a second? Is there any discussion? The question on the adoption of the annual meeting agenda. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All of those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. I move that the standing rules for the annual meeting as shown in the workbook be adopted. Is there a second? It is moved and second to adopt the standing rules for the annual meeting. Any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the standing rules for the annual meeting. All of those in favor will rise. Okay, thank you. Please be seated. All of those opposed. There are 2/3 and the affirmative, and the rules are adopted. Okay, at this point, great.
Thank you, Aquila. Now, if there's no objection, Joanne Johnson, co-leader of Troop 41013, will be appointed head teller for today's meeting, assisted by members of Detroit Troops 40099, 41013, and 43550, who will serve as tellers. Okay, since there is no objection, they are hereby appointed. Would Joanne and her assistants please stand? Let's give a round of applause. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to start out by giving my board chair report. Okay, this chart here, again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to talk to you about the overall goals, and then the other presenter can kind of show, how we have been in line with what's been going on at the national level. This chart, some of you probably recognize, it's been around for probably 5 years, and it was the initial strategy and a set of core business strategies that were adopted at the national level by a working group of people representing councils across the country. And I think this model has served us well. Clearly, as you look at the diagram, you can see that there was a focus on changing and streamlining the governance structure so that we could be a more decisive, agile, and market-driven organization. And obviously, that was what spawned the realignment. There was work done to contemporize and kind of update the brand of Girl Scouting, holding to the values that were still important, trying to make it more relevant for today's girls, and really inspire girls, not only girls to join, but also donors to give. We know we had long had a tradition of the leadership experience for girls, but that was formalized with measurable outcomes to, and again, attempt to make that more relevant for girls. Funding was very important. We all know how dependent we are on product sales and the need to diversify funding so that we could have a stable financial platform for our operations is very critical. And then diversifying the opportunity to engage volunteers in the movement beyond just the traditional troop leader, and to welcome adults with a lot of skills to serve girls and work with girls in a lot of different ways. So that was really the basic structure that was set up in 2005, the vision of where the movement wanted to go. And the objective of this was to grow membership in the long term and also be able to demonstrate measurable outcomes for our girls, so that girls, regardless of where they were across the country, would have a consistent Girl Scout leadership experience. So performance to that transformation, and again, I think many great things have happened. Of course, that we realigned, and there were 112 councils to improve management capacity. I can definitely say, and you see this as you look at the GSSEM, given what happened in Michigan with the economy, and given a lot of the changes, the fact that we realigned has really put Girl Scouting in Southeastern Michigan in a much better position to be viable and serve our girls. One thing I can say is that we have had more and better support now from GSUSA, whereas before there were 315 councils, now with 112. The level of training, the level of consulting, the level of resource support that we get from GSUSA is the best I've ever seen in my 20 years as an adult scout. We clearly have more focus on the leadership through the Girl Scout leadership experience. The pathways, have continued to develop. Again, Lisa will be talking more about the progress that's been made in our council, but in fact, materials are available for 3 pathways with 2 more remaining, and actually piloting going on. There are many ways to volunteer. New volunteer structures are being piloted across the USA, and again, Lisa will talk about how that is working in GSSEM. There's been online outcome measurement systems that have been developed by the Girl Scout Research Institute. That is very critical. First of all, it's critical for us as adults to be able to say, is the program effective? Are girls really benefiting in the ways that we hope they do? But that's also critically important for us to demonstrate to our donors. They want measurable proof that this organization is in fact making a difference in the lives of girls, and providing opportunities for them to lead, to grow, to not become at risk, and so on. And so it's very exciting to see that data becoming available. And then, of course, the Relevant and Compelling Brand campaign. We showed some of that last year, but again, I think you've all been able to see how that's been translated into materials, the website, the merchandise that we now have available at GSSEM. But we can't, we still have a lot of work to do. We can't rest on our laurels, so there are some next steps for the movement as a total. First of all, those core business strategies have served us well, but it is time to refresh and incorporate the future challenges in what we need to do over the next 5 years. So a refresh of the strategies has begun and will continue through the Girl Scout National Conference that will be held in November. And the intent is to refresh those to help the movement, and then therefore local councils better meet the challenges over the next 5 years. So I'm going to show you this diagram. think you'll see, and I'll show you a chart in a minute, this is not, you know, a total melting report. This is an enhancement to those strategies that we have been working with over 5 years, but is intended, again, to better focus the movement and really acknowledge some of the work that has been completed. Again, the vision here is just being more clearly articulated. I don't think there's any new in the vision other than to say we need to articulate this in our vision, and that is to be the premier leadership organization for girls in the U.S. You know, the mission stays the same, and I think I have to say for one, I just think our mission is very, very targeted towards, I think, what we all do every day with girls, and you know, encourage confidence and character to make the world a better place is really nicely states what we are all about. Our customer focus is the same, girls K through 12, and what we really have to focus on, and what is really going to be an important piece of our focus over the next 5 years is really to make sure we are serving girls in the at-risk communities. Our winning proposition, again, I think we've all known this, we've just articulated this, that Girl Scouts is the place where girls who want to change the world. And I think the thing that differentiates Girl Scouting from many other youth serving organizations is just that. We are all about service, that's part of our values, and that's part of the outcomes for girls in our program. And so given that, the strategic priorities have, I would say, morphed a little bit. Unlike last time where membership was an outcome, we're at the stage in the journey now where membership needs to be a strategic priority. We have a foundation in place. It is time to build on that foundation and grow the members of this organization, both from a girl perspective and an adult perspective. Programs and outcomes still are very key and will continue to be a strategic priority as will brand and funding. But we've also added some business imperatives because, again, this is what's important to the foundation, and those business imperatives are to ensure that at the council and the national level, and also with our girls, we are using technology appropriately. I think you can all agree, since GSSEF has put a Facebook page out that we've gone online, that is very, very attractive to girls. And an organization that is serving girls that doesn't use the tools that they use in their everyday lives, and we wonder why they think we're not relevant. So keeping in the forefront of technology, both from a business effectiveness perspective, but also from keeping ourselves relevant to our girls is really critical. I'm not going to read all of this. I will tell you this is still under development and will probably continue to get refined, and then this will be for delegates at the national meeting. Of course, you'll be bringing this back to share with your groups. So I won't go through these in detail, but I think the substance here is, as I mentioned, membership is becoming very important in terms of not only engaging more girls, but making sure that we're serving girls that are at risk. Also under membership is, again, continuing to make sure that we are attracting a diverse set of volunteers and that we are making it easy and convenient and the organization accessible for volunteers to participate, given the skills that they have, and more importantly, given the amount of time that they can offer to the organization. Under programs and outcomes, that is more, you'll see a lot of emphasis on implementation. So it's taking a lot of the development we have and making sure that it is, in fact, consistently implemented across the country. Likewise with brand, it's taking the good work that's been done and it's implementing that consistently. And then funding continues to be a key issue to diversify so that we are not so dependent on product sales. And then I'm going to close with this chart. This chart is really just a mapping, so unless anyone think, oh my God, we're changing this mounting and reporting it maps very nicely, but it is more targeted, and I think the changes that you see going forward are really along implementation and are really going to be much more focused on members and member growth. So with that,